Hey guys, and welcome back to another Fist and Facts prediction video. Today we'll be predicting UFC 322, arguably the best UFC card this year. Well, probably the best UFC card this year, arguably one of the best UFC cards of all time. Like the full main card is full of sick fights, and then there's some really good ones in the prelim as well. But first, we'll start with the first fight of the main card, which is Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint-Denis, which was actually originally meant to be on the prelims, but then they realized that it should be on the main card.
Yeah, no idea why Bo Nickel coming off a loss was on the main card again. Like even though that was a complaint in the past, but yeah, this card is a banger card. It's fire, and it's brought us back to do predictions, breakdown. We're not done one of these in a while, but
In
this,
like 6 minutes, but
yeah,
yeah.
this fight is a good fight. It's kind of BSD kind of stole Rufy's fight because he called out Benny, but then BSD beat Rufy, and now he's fighting him, and BSD is still young, even though he kind of got fraud checked and played down a bit. And Benny is the veteran here, coming off a good win against Marcano. And I'm gonna go with Dariush. I think, like the grappling, he's good enough to kind of mitigate BSD's grappling offense. And I think he's just gonna use like his veteran type of experience to just kind of win a decision here.
Yeah, I agree with you, to be fair. I do think Benny will win the fight. Like BSD, he's obviously won 2 fights by submission since he got beat by Moicano and Poirier. So he's gotten back on track after, because obviously before the Poirier fight, everyone was hyping him up. I think he got like 5 finishes in a row before the Poirier fight, and then he obviously got fraud checked, lost against Moicano. He's had 2 submission wins in a row now, and it shows that, like, he is a top 15 guy. He's a top 15 fighter, but like Benny usually wins these fights. Benny always in these top 15 fights, like against these upcoming guys, he defends his ranking usually. Like the last time he didn't, I think, was like Alex Hernandez, who knocked him out. But Benny's really good, and he usually does win these type of fights. He's like the ultimate, like, top 15, top 10 gatekeeper type of fighter. And yeah, I've got Benny as well. I think Benny will win this by decision.
Yeah, so maybe just one thing he might need to watch out is a BSD KO. Obviously, he's been KO'd quite a few times before, and his chin is a bit questionable. But going on to the next fight, Edwards versus Process, and a lot of people discount Edwards here, and I guess you can see why from the last Brady performance, who's also on this card. But if we saw Price against Gary, I think Leon can do kind of a similar thing here, and kind of beat Pratters in the point fight. They're both two long fighters, and as long as he can survive, or Pratters is dangerous, as long as he can survive, I do see him being able to win at least 2 rounds here, mainly through striking, which I think will be a striking battle. So I'm taking Leon by decision again.
Yeah, I agree with you with that, like, completely. Leon by decision. It's the first time he's fighting somebody who's not a wrestler or a grappler in so long. Like, we haven't seen Leon be able to just unload punches in so long. And Price is a really good guy. Like, even in the Gary fight, like you were saying, Gary was styling on him for a while, but like towards the end, Pratis showed that he's got some crazy power. Like, he hurt Gary really badly towards the end, a couple times in the middle rounds as well. And Gary was hurt, and Pratis, like, he can crack. But at the same time, if it's a slow point fighting type of fight, Leon will win the fight. And I wouldn't be surprised if Leon does go for a takedown or two of his own, because, like, if he does get hurt as well, or like if he gets cracked a bit, he does like to try wrestling. And Leon's not a bad wrestler. Obviously, he shot against Brady, who's just a superior wrestler to Leon. But Leon's not a bad wrestler himself, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does take the fight down. It's a 3 round fight as well, so I wouldn't expect him to be tired at any point either. So I do think Leon will grind out a decision. He might get hurt, but I do think he can win a decision.
Yeah, and you make a really good point there about him fighting wrestlers, and he's done and I seen the start, and obviously some fighters lean more to being a wrestler or striker, but he's fought pretty much like very heavy wrestlers for like 7 or 8 fights. It's somewhat pretty crazy, like Bilal, Kamaru, Colby,
Kamaru
all them.
twice as well. Colby, Brady.
Like, yeah, I think it was maybe Diaz the last time, he fought a heavy wrestler. And I think actually, before I said it might just be a striking battle, but you actually do forget that Leon is a very good wrestler. And against other wrestlers, he doesn't really show that because it's not his main thing. But I think he'll be superior to Price in the wrestling and grappling. So
Yeah,
actually, he
he'll
probably,
he'll be able to mix it up, and I literally do think he will take it to the ground at one point. Especially,
yeah,
there will be a point in that fight where I think he does get clipped a bit, and he realizes, I should mix it up, take it to the ground.
yeah, especially considering he shot on Brady, which was quite stupid. But he took down Usman. I think he shot on Colby as well. So actually, he probably will shoot, and he probably will be able to control Price decent. So um, yeah, but still Leon by decision. I think he'll get at least 2 rounds, like I said. But obviously Price has got the KO threat there.
Yeah.
And Leon kind of react to shots a bit weird sometimes, like the way he covers up. But yeah.
And now on to Leon's last opponent. Sean Brady's fighting the undefeated Michael Morales, who's literally like just he's like an NPC type fighter. Like he's just come out of nowhere really. He's just been slowly climbing the ranks. Not really, well, he's not really been fighting anyone of note. I think he's fought Gilbert Burns, and that's it so far.
Yeah, Burns is the main guy that he's fought, and he also fought Magny, knocked him out in the first, so we've not seen
He's a
too much.
powerful guy then. He's got two knockouts of two like ranked journeyman type of welterweights. Well, Gilbert Burns was a contender at one point, but yeah, he's kind of been unannounced. And if he wins this, he might actually be a title contender next as well.
Yeah, realistically, obviously welterweight's always one of them divisions with so many contenders, but really kind of looking like a number 1 contender essentially. So if Morales wins this, he he very well could be next in line for the title, which is kind of random. Like you said,
He's just
he
like
feels like he's kind
reset it a bit then. Because obviously Brady beat Leon, was the clear number one. And obviously with Islam moving up, he was always going to get the title fight. So Brady's had to wait a bit. You had Shavkat, who's been injured for like the last year and a bit now. Obviously, Ian's fighting the former champ, Bilal, in what could also be another potential number one contender fight. Because Gary literally just beat Prates in his last fight, I'm sure. So it's
yeah, got
it's a
Usman
weird
calling
situation.
as well.
Yeah, so welterweight is really stacked right now. Like the whole title picture, and obviously we've got the title fight that we'll be talking about in a couple minutes as well. But I getting back to this fight, I do think Brady will win. Like he's got really good wrestling. Like he's got good smothering, top pressure, and it. I don't want to say it again, but I do think it's going to be another decision win. And Brady might just. It's a 3 round fight, and he'll just grind out a grappling heavy win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Brady by submission here. And we see that the guillotine that he got on Leon was very impressive. And even though not a good performance by Leon, like, Leon's not really an easy guy to submit at all. Morales not really been tested. Like Leon's been against so many grapplers. I don't think Morales, other than Burns, has been against a grappler really in the UFC. Obviously, yeah, he did dispose of Burns pretty easily, so he could very well knock out Brady, who was not knocked out by Bilal Muhammad. But yeah, we'll go Brady by submission in this fight.
Yeah, and to be fair, I haven't seen much of Morales, so he might actually come out and surprise us. Like, obviously, he knocked out Burns, I think, in like a minute or two in his last fight. So it'll be interesting to see what his like takedown defense against a top tier wrestler like Brady is like, and if he has got as much power as it seems like he does. And it'll be an interesting fight, especially that first minute or two when they both standing up and getting the measure of each other.
Yeah, 100%. And the next fight, we got the co-main event. It's a fight that's been talked about for fucking ages, it feels like. That's Valentina versus Wei Li. Whaley's moving up. She vacated the strawweight belt. And this is an interesting fight.
Yeah, Whaley arguably well, both of them are two of the greatest women fighters of all time. And if whoever wins might go down as the greatest woman fighter of all time. Obviously, we got Amanda Nunes as the greatest woman fighter of all time, but Whaley obviously going up to beat Valentina in Valentina's division that was specifically made for her as well, and to go up and win a second belt. I think she'd be only the second woman fighter to do that as well after Nunes, so she'd be making history, and she is quite smaller than Valentina as well, but she's just as skilled, I think, and it'll be interesting to see if any of her power translates to 125, because I feel like she was a perfect sized 115 pounder, but yeah, it's just skill for skill. They both so good.
Yeah, skill for skill. It's when it comes to women MMA, sometimes you get them stinky fights. I can't lie. But these two, like, they're very skilled and they're very fun to watch. And I think Whaley's the goal if she wins this, because like that's crazy for her to go up and all the stuff she's done already, how skilled she is. I would say she's the goal, and I think she is gonna win this. Even though the size is a bit like, oof, like Valentina is gonna look bigger in there.
Yeah,
And
and don't forget Valentina fought at 135 as well against Nunes in a fight that I think she won.
yeah, exactly. And it's like you can't really imagine Whaley against Nunes. That's just like too much of a big
Size disparity.
size. Yeah, but I think the skill can make up, and I think also Valentina's not in the prime anymore. It doesn't feel like it. Like she did pretty good against Manon Fiorot, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a close ass fight. Like I'm picking Whaley, but I could easily pick Valentina here.
Yeah, no, I'm with you as well, though. I do pick Whaley. I do think she's just a bit better than Valentina. Valentina's just not in her prime anymore. And it's always like interesting to see, like obviously we're going to talk about in the main event as well, but when the smaller fighter goes up to challenge, it's like what they usually say, smaller fighter skill. Like the skill translates so well, and that extra power is always better as well. They always feel and look stronger as well. So it'll be interesting to see what Whaley looks like and how she matches up. But I do think she'll get the win. Probably a decision, because I don't think she'll be able to finish her. And if she does, maybe she could get a submission. But I see a decision win again.
Yeah, I think I'll go with a Whaley KO late. Just like a bit of a, maybe similar to Grasso when she was kind of tagging Valentina a bit, when she gets a bit overwhelmed. It may not be the most likely thing, but that extra power could help her. So I'll go with Whaley, fourth or fifth round, um, TKO. And we got the
Yeah,
main event.
that's a good choice. But yeah, the big one. This is the fight that everyone's been waiting for. Islam finally moving up to 170. Everybody's been saying he's a weight bully at 155, and now it's finally time to see what he looks like at 170. And from what we've seen so far, he is looking quite big.
He's a big boy, man. He's been taking his creatine, and he
He
needs.
loves his creatine now.
Yeah, man. He loves that creatine, and JDM is not like a huge welterweight, so that's why it's kind of interesting. If why like this kind of size talk is interesting, because he probably will look similar size to JDM if he fills out properly.
Yeah, and JDM's it's more he looks big boned, he's long, rangy, wiry. He's got that wiry muscle type, whereas Islam's a bit bulkier, wider, and like more of a tank. So it'll be interesting to see what they look like especially what Islam looks like on at the weigh-ins, because obviously he's not gonna have the big cut to 55 that he usually does, which is probably gonna be massive for him, because obviously the bigger the cut, the more weaker your chin feels, the more sluggish you are, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see him at 170. He's had like this whole year to get ready for the fight. He's been bulking up. But then also JDM's pretty much known who he was gonna fight as well. Like I'm pretty sure he knew Islam's a guy. He's been training for him all year. He's been training with Volk. He's been training with Craig Jones as well.
Yeah, and I think JDM even mentioned Islam in his post-fight speech. So like, whenever that fight against Bilal was, he's had this opponent in mind, and he's had all the time to prepare. And same goes for Islam, obviously. So I think that'll even add to this fight. It's gonna be fucking sick, really, innit?
Yeah,
But
there's so many ways it could go. Obviously, it could go. Islam wasn't the right size for the weight. He was a bit too small. JDM was just stronger, faster, better, and he could get chinned very early on. But it could also be Islam goes in. He's stronger than everyone expected him to be. And he even said, I think in a interview recently that like at lightweight I was probably like 60-70% of my potential. So if he's 100% of his potential at welterweight, it'll be really crazy to see how well he does. He could go in there and just steamroll Jack.
yeah,
But I do think
that
it will be quite a lot closer.
it'll be a close fight. This is my pick for fight of the night. And I don't think he is gonna steamroll him. I don't think Jack's just gonna spark him. An important kind of thing that you can look at here is that Volk's obviously gonna be helping JDM, and like skill for skill, Volk is better than JDM, but he can pass on the things to like, okay, yeah, maybe times he can go for Islam's weaknesses and whatnot, and we'll see if he can do that. But
Yeah, that's a big one to see if he can help because obviously Volk, you can't say like just because you train with someone doesn't really mean that, oh, I've got the same skills as that person now. Obviously, Volk can help him learn some stuff, but it won't mean that, oh, JDM suddenly has the same strength as Volk because obviously they're two completely different fighters. Volk's strength against Islam, I felt like came in his size because obviously he was a lot smaller, and his legs are huge, and he had just had a lower base of gravity, lower center of gravity, and his base was very very strong. Whereas obviously Jack's a bit taller, leaner than Volk.
yeah, I've got the different fighters, and so it's a different fight. But JDM, he's got that really good scramble ability. He's good at getting back to his feet. He's seen it in the fifth round against Bilal. He's seen it just before he finished Gilbert Burns. And those are two grapplers they're kind of different style to Islam. But Islam isn't really a lay and pray type of grappler. He will go for a submission, and that does when you go for a submission, it gives someone a chance to get back up. So I
Yeah,
think
and
we'll
Jack
get
has
get
really
Yam
slick
down at some
bottom
point.
game.
Yam can get up, definitely.
Yeah, Jack's like bottom game is quite slick, and he's like especially in the scrambles. But I feel like the scrambles also will be very good for Islam as well, because obviously in a scramble, that's when like Jack might be most vulnerable. Like his neck might be open, and obviously Islam's very good at like get catching those necks and like just getting that submission. So obviously during a scramble, that might be one of Islam's best moments to try going for a submission as well.
Yeah, we've seen Jack a few times in like close to submission threats, like against Buster Affairs and against, I can't even remember his name, the one on like UFC 276, but he got out that submission but knocked him out. But either way, he's been put in a few like, and those are both like head and arm type of chokes actually, and obviously that's probably Islam's best thing.
He
So
says his
I
dart is
would
his best, but
say,
yeah, he's everyone says he's got a crazy squeeze with his head and arm. So
yeah, no, but no, by head and arm, I meant like it was a head and arm variation. So I think it was the 276 one was like a DAS, and the
uh,
Bastard I think it might have been a guillotine, an arm and guillotine. Either way, like, so yeah, he's been kind of caught in that, and like he escaped in the past, but you don't want to be putting that against someone like Islam. And I'm gonna go Islam by Das specifically. In the later rounds, kind of third or fourth, I think it'll be a good fight up until then. But then I think Islam will get into a position where he latches onto JDM, and JDM tries to escape, but it's just Islam's got such high quality. He's more fresh at this way, and he's gonna get it done. That's just my prediction.
yeah, I agree with you with that. I do think Islam is gonna win by submission. And yeah, I think the fight will be very close, especially in those first two rounds. I do think it'll be back and forth. JDM obviously is gonna have the length advantage. He's gonna have the reach. It's his weight class. He's by far the superior boxer. Like he's one of the best boxers in the UFC. And it's gonna be tricky for Islam. I feel like those first couple rounds, they'll be close, but I do think he'll eventually get him down, wear him down a bit, and then yeah, get the submission.
Yeah, so we are actually in for the first time ever, complete agreement on all five of the fights. Only different method on
Outcomes for
the
two
Weili
of them.
fight.
Yeah, and the Weili fight.
But for the forfeit that we are doing, first to, first to 20 points, I will be going for my second most likely outcome. So I have a chance to not lose the forfeit, even though I most likely will lose anyway. But we'll
Yeah,
see
we're
about that.
we're ready for Mike to lose the forfeit today.
We'll see. I'm gonna have to switch it up. I'm gonna say JDM by KO and whatnot. But either way,
Yeah, but we all know what his real picks are.
yeah, no, these are my real picks. But yeah, let us
But
know what
yeah,
you think.
guys, yeah, let us know what you think, what you think of our picks, and what you think about the future of all these fighters.
Yeah, no, it's an exciting card, and it's gonna like shape up all the divisions that the fights happening. It's gonna like change a lot, and it's really interesting. So looking forward to this one, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.